Oh, hey, you know, people see I've been posting content about my old cars, keeping them on the road, and a lot of them are thinking, oh yeah, this guy, he's an enthusiast. He just loves these old cars, which is true, but that's only half the story. You see, what may have started innocently enough as a hobby and a way to save a little money over a decade ago actually became my portal into ideological extremism. Unbeknownst to me, every dollar I saved, every little repair I made, every new skill I picked up in an effort to keep my old car alive was slowly radicalizing me, transforming me into somebody with problematic beliefs. Beliefs like independence, self-reliance, deferred gratification, and sacrifice. Then I got wrapped up in the wrong crowd. Guys with crazy ideas like right to repair or open source technology. Before I knew it, I'd become an ideologue, the type of person who votes with his dollar and puts his money where his mouth is.
We've done everything. We've unhooked the fucking battery. We've turned the car off. We've turned it back on. We've done it in every fucking mode. This piece of shit will not go in reverse.
It's like these companies don't understand what we want. We don't want TVs in our car. I got one at home.
This is a sign that if you ever want to get a Range Rover, just don't get it. And it's not even opening up my car. Like, I'm so irritated.
This new recall affects over 144,000 different vehicles from the 2024 to 2026 model years.
So when your car dies, you have to jump this to open the frunk, to jump the battery, to power the door, to open the door. That might be a little over-engineered to me.
They tried the fuse box thing. We tried resetting the battery. Explain to me why my windows won't roll up in a brand new vehicle. This is all we get. In the middle of a rainstorm.
You don't need to look very far to find all the evidence you need that pretty much all modern cars are these finicky, over-engineered plastic appliances designed by giant corporations to suck every available dime out of consumers. Not just with the sticker price, no, but also engineering them with CAN buses and interconnected modules that ensure the slightest part failure or minor repair will brick the whole system and require proprietary tools from only brand-specific certified technicians. Technicians whom, by the way, are expected to buy their own tools, perform warranty work for half the actual labor costs, and basically get paid hourly slave wages for an increasingly demanding job while the service center collects the other 90% of what they're charging all of us. All of this while at the same time dealerships are hitting us up with insane markups and hidden fees, and while private equity is gobbling up all the parts suppliers and stores, discontinuing parts for older cars and jacking up the costs on everything else. This is Roger, our Chevy Trailblazer that I bought for my wife about 2 years ago after her Civic got totaled. At the time, I wanted her to have something reasonably modern and reliable for work. And I'm not going to go too hard on Roger because he's been more or less mechanically sound and reliable for the most part. But what he's also been is annoying and needy. Annoying and needy in only the way a modern car can be. Every little minor fix or inconvenience I've had with him can be directly attributed to some modern feature or gimmick that we never wanted to begin with. Like this TPMS warning that comes on, for which I bought the relearn tool, ran through the procedure, but that didn't work. So I bought the new sensor and I asked my buddy to install it. But then it just starts working again for months. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. And then it goes out again. That's just not something any of these cars give me a problem with. And I don't mind checking my tire pressure myself. Or the time Roger wouldn't turn off because he told us we weren't shifted into park, while we were definitely in park. Turns out that was a factory service bulletin that involved yanking off the shifter assembly and then physically bending a tiny piece of metal which makes contact with the parking sensor. Yeah, I fixed it. It wasn't too bad, but annoying. And it was happening to my wife out in the real world, which was scary and frustrating. Just recently, we had to go on a couple 100-mile road trip to visit some family and friends. We jumped in Roger, hit the start button, and I met with just a single loud click, along with the instrument cluster lighting up like a crashing TIE fighter. I'm getting anti-theft warnings, stability control, body control, and all sorts of stuff just flashing and beeping at me. And I know cars pretty well, so to me the click was indicative of a dead battery. So I looked at my gauges for the battery voltage. But guess what? It doesn't tell you the voltage. You know what does tell me my voltage though? Uncle Ted. my Chevy pickup that's older than Taylor Swift. But Roger was eager to display every single warning code that his computer thought I should know about. Oh, everything except the battery though. So was it actually the battery? Of course it was. I put a jumper on him and he started right up. So we hit the road and I tell my wife, don't worry, we'll get where we need to go and then stop by an auto parts store in the morning and I'll have them swap out the battery, which is a service pretty much every parts store offers. So we make it to our destination and then the next morning I hit up the local O'Reilly's to make sure they're willing to change out the battery. But in perhaps the most predictable twist ever, I give the employee my make and model, and he tells me, actually, nah, can't do that one. It's too complex. So I looked it up, and it's got this convoluted junction block that you have to remove. Probably has something to do with that stupid start-stop function that we never wanted to begin with, but couldn't turn off or opt out of. So now I'm like, great. We're 200 miles from home, dressed nicely to attend a celebration with some friends, but I guess I'll just keep getting out and jump-starting our car to get everywhere we need to go until we get back home, and I'll change that battery myself. And I'm not stupid. I looked up the procedure to make sure I had everything I need so I don't fry his delicate little computer. And sure enough, I can't just change the battery. I need to use a memory saver so I don't MK Ultra his brain and turn him into a vegetable. So we got home and I changed the battery. It wasn't hard, but it was just hard enough to ensure that a parts store wouldn't want to touch it, and thus compounding the inconvenience and annoyance that only existed as a result of modern innovation. And it's been other little things with him too, but you get my point. And look, Roger is 5 years old at this point, so pretty modern, but I should probably be a bit more grateful because he's shaping up to be an Abrams tank compared to some of these abominations the industry's cranking out today.
Cadillac, I'm done. I think I'm done this time.
So yeah, am I an enthusiast who just loves these old cars? Sure, but more accurately, I'm an ideologue. I didn't start out knowing how to work on old cars. I'm still not even that great at it, but I taught myself, just out of spite, and an act of defiance against the never-ending onslaught of enshittification to our everyday goods and services. It's the same reason we don't go out to eat or see movies or go to Disney World. It all sucks. The quality gets worse, the prices get higher, and that's not how this is supposed to work. By withholding my dollar, I'm engaging in small-scale economic terrorism against the people making our lives worse by the day, because I want these corporations to fail and hopefully make way for new builders and entrepreneurs to emerge from the ashes and start building reliable, quality, long-lasting, and affordable options for average people. Find out if this whole free market thing we've been sold is actually free, or if in reality it's become a ratchet of regulatory capture and corporate welfare that only tightens one way, on behalf of big business to squeeze consumers until it all breaks. And it's not about price, it's about principle. I can afford your garbage product, but I would rather take that $1,000 or whatever a month and put it towards building and maintaining something that I actually like, that's reliable, repairable. Oh yeah, and it doesn't spy on me, sell my data, show me ads, or charge me a subscription to use the features that it came with. And thankfully, even more people are starting to wake up and get the big picture now too.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And it'd be swell if even more of you started to pitch in and do what I've been doing for over a decade now. But unfortunately, too many of you still have shiny object syndrome and continue to hand over your hard-earned money to these corporate parasites because you've convinced yourself that you just need new product or you need to keep up with the Joneses and your self-image is inextricably linked to what you drive. But I can promise you, your $1,000 payment, double-digit interest rate, and negative equity on a car that probably won't make it to 30,000 miles before needing a major repair or factory recall is not something that I aspire to or am impressed by. So yeah, maybe consider becoming an economic micro-terrorist yourself, and with any luck we can have some small, tightly knit terror cells across the country of friends, relatives, and neighbors who help each other keep their old cars on the road and perhaps finally start playing some meaningful offense against the CEOs, corporations, hedge funds, and private equity groups that are destroying any hope of an affordable future for our children and their children. And if that means we have to become like Cuba to get there, so be it. So buy yourself a shipbox and join the resistance today. God bless America and long live the Republic.